Hello and welcome to Nation Innovation. Today we are going to start with microcontrollers. So before we start with microcontroller, let's see the basic difference between microprocessor and microcontroller. So microprocessor is only a processor, that is only a CPU miniaturized, and it needs external input outputs and peripherals. Whereas microcontroller is CPU plus input output peripherals all together miniaturized. For example, if you have a display, let's say LCD, then you have a keyboard, then you have a mouse, and you have a CPU. If you miniaturize only CPU, it is called as microprocessor. But if you miniaturize all these things together, it is called as microcontroller. So in this lecture, we are going to see 8051 microcontroller. 8051 microcontroller. So basically 8051 microcontroller was designed by Intel and its foundation was on Harvard architecture. So Harvard architecture means there are two types of architectures. One is von Neumann and the other one is Harvard. So in this we have two separate buses, that is data bus and address bus, and there are distinct memory, for example flash memory and ROM, and they are basically used in embedded applications such as washing machine design, etc. Then we have one Neumann where we have two separate data bus and address bus and one single memory is embedded. That is why speed is limited in von Neumann architecture. So earlier in 1980s, this 8051 microcontroller was built on NMOS technology, which was later replaced by CMOS technology. There are two buses in 8051 microcontroller, one for program and the other one for data. There are two buses, one for program and one for data. As a result, it has two storage rooms for both program and data. That is program data 64K byte and data 64K byte. The microcontroller comprises of 8-bit accumulator and 8-bit processing unit. 8-bit accumulator and 8-bit processing unit. Also, it consists of 8-bit B register as majorly functioning blocks. It has number of 8-bit and 16-bit registers. And for internal functioning and processing, 8051 comes with integrated built-in RAM, which is basically the primary memory, and it is used for storing temporary data. But the memory in 8051 is volatile. That means all the data is lost when the power supply is switched off. Now let us explore about architecture of 8051. This is the overall block diagram of 8051 microcontroller. We have interrupt control with external interrupts directly connected to CPU, which is driven by oscillator, the clock. Then we have buses. We have 4K of flash memory, 128 bits of RAM. We have timer. Then we have 4 input-output ports and bus control. Interrupt is a subroutine call that reads the microcontroller's key function and helps to perform some other program which is an extra important at that point of time. Basically, interrupts provide us a method to postpone or delay the current process, carry out some subroutine task, and then overall again restart the standard program implementation. There are 5 interrupt supplies in the 8051 microcontroller. 2 out of 5 are the peripheral interrupts, 2 are timer interrupts, and 1 is serial port interrupt. So basically 2 timer interrupts, 2 peripheral interrupts, and 1 is the serial port interrupt. Now memory is brought into play to accumulate the program of microcontroller, and it is recognized as program memory or code memory, or it is known as read-only memory. So basically read-only memory or program memory or code memory Now, another type of memory is space which is employed to momentarily store data functioning, that is called as data memory or random access memory. So, the program memory is of 4K byte, which is flash memory, and RAM is of 128 bytes. 128 bytes. Now, buses are the group of wires which function as communication canal to transfer the data. Now, here in 8051, buses comprise of 8 or 16 wires together. So, 16 bit of address bus, 16 bit of address bus is there, and 8 bit of data bus, 8 bit of data bus. Then we have oscillator. It facilitates harmonized employment of all pieces of 8051 controller input output port. Now in the next lecture we will start with pin diagram of microcontroller.